Hello and welcome to Mexico News Network's Breaking News. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Elisa Carballo, and we have excellent information for you coming right ahead. Mexico News Network is your #1 source for reliable information on business and investments in the Americas, stock markets and bonds, and also corporate information on Mexico. So why not browse through our website on www.mexiconewsnetwork.com, our very own digital content platform. Now let's begin with today's main headlines. Nestle Purina opened in Silao, Guanajuato, its brand new plant, supported with a $220 million investment, which is part of the billions of dollars that Nestle plans to invest in Mexico from 2014 to 2018. The new plant covers an area of 200,000 square meters and is the 15th factory in Mexico. It will have a production capacity of 130,000 tons, which is looking to expand in the future. Now, 40% of the national production of the plant will be used exclusively for export, while the rest will be for the domestic market. This project aims to create an annual economic benefit of 750 million Mexican pesos, as well as 200,000 new direct and indirect jobs. All of this in addition to the 6,000 temporary jobs that were generated during the construction. This new factory will also ensure the national supply of pet food and seeks to establish a major center for exports to countries in Central America through the production of brands such as Pro Plan Dog Chow, Cat Chow, and Beneful. Frakes Laurent, executive VP of Nestle, quoted in a Forbes article, said that with this project, once again, they confirmed that the commitment they have with Mexico is very strong, and the vision of Nestle Purina to the work every day to enrich the lives of pets and people. He also added that Mexico is the 4th country in the world in production of pet food, right after China, the US, and Brazil. Nestle also plans to open its 16th plant at the end of the next year in Ocotlan, Jalisco, which will be supported with a $360 million investment. Moving along to more information. The evolution in automotive engineering of Tesla Motors has officially arrived to Mexico, bringing to the Mexican market an option that is 100% electric, eco-friendly, and luxurious. Tesla Motors is entering the nation with its Model S vehicle, which is the company's classic and beautiful, modern, and innovative automobile. Tesla Motors sees in Mexico a grand opportunity to expand its marketing, given the nation's remarkable increase in the automotive industry, in addition to the country's interest in sustainable means of transportation. Now, during its first stage entering into the Mexican market, Tesla Motors will set up a pop-up store for clients to reserve their Model S with a payment in advance of 80,000 pesos, which is approximately $4,600. Also, their online store will be available. The very first steps are intended to penetrate the market and gain positioning within the luxury vehicle market, as the car's price and features compete with that of category of cars. The exact prices for Mexico have not been disclosed quite just yet. However, the estimated price begins in $75,000. The delivery of the vehicles will begin by the second quarter of 2016, so be very aware. For the future, the company would like to be able to place their supercharges network throughout the country, just as they have done in other markets where they are present. The Model S has incredible features. Besides being 100% electric, it can actually reach up to a speed from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in only 3 seconds. It has modern and technological features such as the tactile panel that controls the car and its functions, and also the automatic pilot that can actually see the movement of other vehicles, internet connection, and synchronization of mobile devices. Moving along to more information, the newest and latest Starbucks Reserve in Mexico was opened on the chic Presidente Mazarik Avenue in Mexico City. It's adapted from a 1930s home with detailed design features from the doors to the walls, everything inspired by Chiapas, one of Mexico's largest coffee producers. Another very interesting fact is that this Starbucks Reserve shop is the largest one in the entire Latin America. Starbucks Reserve offers coffee lovers and connoisseurs premium varieties of coffees, served and prepared with very different methods and set in specially designed spaces. The second Starbucks Reserve shop in Mexico is no exception. This time around, the space chosen to represent it is Chiapas. Now, a key element for the design of this shop as shade-grown Mexico are coffee of origin that is cultivated in the Sierra Madre of Chiapas and has become our very own coffee of the day for every single Starbucks shop in the entire Mexico since the year 2008, said Scott Mitchum, design director for Starbucks Latin America, during an interview. Our benefit program for coffee growers, Todos Sembramos Café, was also part of the inspiration for this entire design, he stated. Now, all the space is carefully designed, including the entrance with its stained glass doors that inspired in the coffee plants. The bar is made with local wood, and all of the furniture, lamps, light fixtures are from local design firms. On the second floor of the Starbucks, there's a mural done in collaboration with Mexican artist Nick Mestizo, who has actually 16 years of experience to support him, working with graffiti, urban art, sculpture, painting, and aerography. The mural is inspired by the jungles of Chiapas, as well as a representation of its fauna, including the jaguar, the red macaw, the toucan, and the howler monkeys. Now, moving along, we have all heard from many types of cosmetic surgeries, haven't we? However, eye color change, is that something you're familiar with? Sounds quite hard to believe, however, now it's possible. The California-based Stroma Medical has made it possible for your eyes to go from brown to blue within days for $5,000. Now, the surgery uses laser technology and is currently only permitted in certain countries, including Mexico and Costa Rica, while the company processes approval from the U.S. government for U.S. procedures. Now, about 37 patients have successfully undergone this operation, which essentially consists of removing the small brown pigment layer covering the surface of the iris. Once this layer is removed, the natural blue color gradually appears. Now, all of this is because every single person has blue eyes, so to speak, when they're born. People with brown eyes have a thin layer of brown pigmentation on the iris, which is what actually makes the eyes brown. The company aims to test the technology in 50 more patients and actually hopes to take the technology to Paris, London, Barcelona, Toronto, and Manila. Now, moving along to Mexico's finance numbers. The number of employed people in Mexico increased to 50,734,656 in the third quarter of 2015. All of this from the 50,336,088 in the second quarter of the year 2015. Employed persons in Mexico averaged 44,320,998 people from the year 2000 up until today, 2015, reaching an all-time high of 50,734,656 in the third quarter of 2015 and a record low of 37,970,852 in the third quarter of the year 2000. Now, in Mexico, employed people are individuals with a minimum required age who work during a certain time for a business. Mexican jobless rate increased to 4.55% in October of 2015, all of this from 4.5% back in September of the same year, which is all above market expectations. A year earlier, though, unemployment was higher at a staggering 4.78%. Now, the jobless rate for women went up by 0.36% to a 4.98%, and for men, it actually fell down to 4.29% from 4.42%. The labor force participation rate went up to 60.1% in October, all of this from 59.5% in the previous month, September. 95.6% were all working, up from 95.5% in September, while 8.2% said that could work some more hours, which was from 8.5% in September, which are staggering figures and perfect for the close of the year. Sadly, this was all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, you were watching Breaking News by Mexico News Network. I'm your host, Elisa Carballo, and we'll see you next time.